Hello, my lovely friends. It's Tuesday, and I am here with a mixed media Friday that I do with Miranda every other week. So I wanted to take this time to share with you what I came up with. So this is a lovely picture of London. She's such a beauty. And she and her sister are both in that trend right now for the purple and kind of unicorn colored hair. So sometimes it's pink and purple, and sometimes it's just purple. And since purple is trending so much in scrapbooking, it seems very appropriate that I would take a background paper that is purple to go with my daughter's purple hair picture. So she normally has very long, beautiful hair. She goes through these phases actually, where she'll have super long, beautiful, natural blonde hair, and then she shaves it all off and has very, 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 very short hair and dyes it all different colors and then gets tired of that and lets it grow out long and blonde again and then basically repeats the same process. So hopefully, the hair that she is donating is going to a good cause. I know she does Locks of Love. So, um, yeah, I guess it's all in the name of fun and being a teenager. But she did just turn 18. So technically, well, no, I guess technically she's still a teenager. Anyway, I guess you want to hear about the layout. So, I did take this paper by Paige Evans and I basically just added an area of gesso so I could get messy with some Shimmers products and some Lindsay Stamp Gang products. And I do carry Shimmers in the shop if you're interested in buying some of those. I believe the color I used here is the blue jeans or Jenny B Blue. That's what it. No, wait. What is it? I'm gonna check my cheat sheet. Hold on. I should have had this with me, but I guess I was not being prepared. So anyway, it is Shimmers in Vibes blue jeans, and I'm also going to pull in some really old Mr. Huey's. It's a neon purple and it doesn't really want to dry. It's the very next day and it still has some tacky to it. Also, as you can see, the Lindsay Stamp Gang I've had in my stash forever called Afternoon Denim Delight. And so those are the three colors that I am going to add with the packaging technique. I'm sure many of you have seen this before. I usually add a little bit of water because I do like softer colors, and some of these colors, especially being purple, are quite bright and opaque. So I want it to be a little bit light and airy, and I'm just going to keep layering that up and letting it dry in between so that I can continue to layer and get it just like I like. So nothing hard about this. This is super easy. I definitely encourage you to try it if you want to get messy. I always have fun doing this technique and I always love how it turns out. That is the Mr. Huey's in the neon purple. I don't know if they make that anymore actually. I got a small set of their little mini neon colors probably 4 years ago, somewhere in that neighborhood. So it may no longer be available. I don't know. But let's see. Still just playing. I do use some of the products from the Citrus Twist kits that I got in January for the background paper and a couple of puffy stickers. But mainly I'm going to stick with Cheeky Studios Unicorn and Rainbows collection because I really think that is appropriate to go with this picture. So that is what I'm going to pull in. I'm just making sure all of my layers are dry because I don't want to make mud, and that is the risk you take. But as I said, that Mr. Huey's never did really want to dry, even though I patted it up with the paper towel. For whatever reason, I guess maybe it's gotten old or something. It's kind of got a tackiness to it. So that transparency or acetate print that you see there, I've had in my stash for quite some time. And this other paper that looks like a dirty paint pour is basically from the January kit from Citrus Twist. And I want to say that it is the Maggie Holmes Carousel. I'm almost positive. I know that purple, I said Paige Evans. I didn't mean that. Now that I'm looking at my cheat sheet, it is Vicki Boutin. And I actually shared a haul and thought I would use the bird side of that paper, but this picture was just screaming for some purple, so I went with the B side. And I tend to do that a lot. It's kind of strange how I'll like one side and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful and I love it so much. And then I always pull a more B side or neutral side for my backgrounds, and almost always I'll flip it over and go, oh no, I wanted to use the other side. But I guess it's all in the name of being creative and, just getting so involved in what you're doing, you don't really pay attention to what you're doing, and you end up using a paper on the wrong side. But I like how it turns out. I have so much paper, it doesn't really matter if I don't hoard or anything like that. I've always been the type that just goes with the flow and enjoys the process so much that I don't hoard. I don't save a piece of paper for that one special occasion or anything. So I'm just going to use it and love it and usually get messy with it. So here I'm just kind of roughing up the edges of that Maggie Holmes paper, and I'm kind of following a sketch that was on the Citrus Twist inspiration sheets. Sorry if you could hear True talking in the background. What else did I do? Oh, I'm taking a little bit of tissue. No, that's not tissue. Glassine. A little glassine bag that I had. And I'm cutting it up. And then I'm going to layer the back of this picture with that. And also with the Maggie Holmes paper. And I will just trim that down a bit. Where all of you are out in the world today, but it has been so incredibly cold here, and I'm really over the cold. And it's actually supposed to get down to 15 tonight, which is crazy to me. I can't ever remember it being 15 in Texas, but I'm sure it's happened before. Yeah, I swear. And I should apologize. I think this weather is because Bab refused to go get a big stack of wood off of 380 for us like I do every year. He didn't want to go to the trouble. And I said, that's a bad idea. And sure enough, the entire nation is suffering because of Bab. That's just the way it works in the wormhole. So what else did I do? I took this pasties from Shimmers, and it is called Raspberry Sherbet or Sorbet. Well, it's actually sherbet, but they left the R off, so it's not spelled correctly. It's kind of weird. At least that's what I noticed. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, so I just pulled that through a stencil. Now I do end up drying it. And I don't know if you're supposed to let pasties dry naturally or you're supposed to, be able to dry it with a heat gun. But when I dried it, it dried, or maybe because it's on top of the mixed media, I don't know. It just did not dry nicely for me. It is a very dull, drab pink, and I don't really care for it. But I'm going to play with it a little bit on white cardstock and see if that makes a difference. So anyway, here I'm taking the unicorn and rainbow stickers, and I love that little row of hearts. It's just a soft pink, and I stick that down at the bottom of the page. I also dig into the ephemera here, and I'm kind of interviewing and thinking about what I'm going to do. I didn't have a plan going into this, and so the only plan I really had was the product that I pulled, and I was basically focused on colors that worked with the picture and with the ephemera in the unicorn and rainbows kit. So here is the puffy letters that I got in the Citrus Twist kit, and I am just going to figure out where I'm going to place my title, and my title is going to appropriately be unicorn hair. I know that's very unique. Or maybe just boring. I don't know. But yeah, I just kind of thought that worked. I'm not the greatest at titles, and I'm not the greatest at journaling. It's really about the artistic and the process. So that's why I scrap, and to preserve memories, because I have a terrible memory. So I'm trying to figure out where to put some of the ephemera in relation to the title. And I do pull in that acrylic word that says sweet girl, because she is a sweet girl. And I'm just kind of thinking, okay, do I want a little cluster to be around sweet girl, or just all the way across the bottom of the photo? So I'm kind of deciding on placement, and I do end up sticking the title as you see it there, and I do end up keeping Sweet Girl there, and I'm going to layer a bunch of the Cheeky Studio flowers underneath Sweet Girl, and I think a little bit goes underneath the rainbow in the ephemera as well. So I decide I'm done with the alphas. And I do really like that unicorn with the wreath, so that's going to stay up, and I'm going to build a cluster up there as well. So I've got to glue that down. I am using Scotch. It's not quick dry anymore. It's called tacky glue, I believe. And that is in a fine liner bottle. I struggled with a fine liner bottle for so long, until one of my subbies told me to put a few drops of water in it, and it has made a huge difference for me. So I have never had a problem since. So if you struggle, I must have bought 10 of those bottles. They only lasted about a month, and I was going nuts trying to figure out why I couldn't get them to last. And I'm looking at people like Missy Whidden, and she's had the same bottle this whole time, and it's a mess because she's gotten so much use out of it. And I'm like, what am I doing wrong? I'm using the same exact glue, but that is the trick. You have to water down your glue just a tad, and that does work. And I use the yellow. I do not use the blue. The blue I've heard a lot of people have problems with, and so I just avoided it like the plague. And I do have to glue down the puffy stickers from Citrus Twist, because the mixed media doesn't allow it to stick very well, and I'm very paranoid about things falling off, and I'd rather be safe than sorry. So make sure if you are putting anything over mixed media that you do glue it down. And that puffy sticker says hello 2018, and I thought that was very appropriate because that is a new picture. And she just turned 18, so I like that. I like that little puffy sticker. So I'm lining up the title, and that must be my daughter to the right of me talking. It's either Bab or True. True starts back at school tomorrow, so she's very excited to be getting out of the house. She works part-time at a golf course, and it's been closed because of all of this terribly cold weather, and so they're rarely open, and when they are, it's too cold for her to go out on the cart anyway. But there are diehards that actually golf in the cold, which I would have never guessed. But it can be 30 degrees out there, and diehard golfers are out there golfing. It's very strange. So, okay, this this gets interesting. So, I struggle and struggle and struggle with this thread. I love the color of the thread. I think it works well with the layout. I just kept pulling too much, or I couldn't make the right circle, or I felt like it was just looking too messy or not laying properly. It drove me nuts. And that flare is from Cheeky Studio, and it's the unicorn mode flare. And I love how the purple matches, and I love how the thread goes with everything, but they don't go together. So you know how like sometimes two purples just clash, and that was like a pinkish purple, and you're just gonna see me fuss and fuss and fuss, and it makes me crazy. I work with this thread over and over, and I finally work it out. I still don't like the way it looks. It's my least favorite element on the page. I tried tucking it in. I'm so confused why I could not get this to work, but see, I'm trying again. It was like crazy. I was like, well, that was too much, so maybe I should do less, and maybe I should make it smaller. And anyway, I end up just going with that. And of course, every time I pull up a flare to glue down a flare, it moves the thread, and then I'm not happy about that. So I don't know. I'm having thread issues lately. So here I am going to add some more flowers. That is a little sticker, a flower sticker from the sticker sheet. And what else do I do? I think I'm just going to work on my clusters. Yeah, I do end up using this leaf. I think it ties in the color of the green over in the upper left very well, and also with the flowers. But I didn't like all the little pieces in it, so I end up popping those out. And so I do like how that cluster turns out. So see, that thread is still bothering me. I'm still messing with it. I end up cutting it too, which was a mistake. So live and learn, live and learn. If something's driving you nuts, it's just a layout. You can not use it. You can pull it off and just throw it away. That's what I should have done with that thread. Yeah, I end up using these asterisks. I think they're cute. And I believe I end up using that label. And, oh no, I think I go with the blue. Do I go with the blue? You know, I just did this last night. So last night, I have spent so much time working that I haven't been able to do many layouts. So I literally scrapbooked from about 9 p.m. until 4 a.m. because I was on a roll and I was loving it. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is just so much fun. And, you know, everybody went to bed early, which never happens here. And so I had all this quiet time by myself, and I just scrapped the night away. But I'm exhausted today. So I can't remember what that label says. But the colors did match very well. And I'm going back to fussing with that thread. I think this kind of completes the layout. I don't think I do anything else. Oh, yes, I do. I've got a lot more time left. That's the other thing. I've slowed down the process, the editing process, because I'm now using Premiere Pro, and so it's a very different animal than Premiere Elements. And if I do faster than this, it's like super fast. And if I do this speed, it's a little slower than I'm used to, but it gives you time to see what I'm actually doing. So let me know in the comments below if you like this speed or you would like to see it go much, much faster. So, okay, yes, this is the close-ups. My phone is acting very strange, so I do not have still pictures at the end except for one, and that is the layout that I put on Instagram, and feel free to go over to my Instagram and start following. I would love to see you there, and all of my social media for Cheeky Studios website and Twitter and Insta is all right here. So we will talk to you later. Ta-ta for now. Bye.